You have almost certainly used deep learning already today. It answered a question, sorted your photos, finished your sentence, or picked the next thing to play. And it can feel like magic. The marketing certainly wants it to. Here's the thing though. None of it was programmed the old way, with a human writing out rules for beaches or tax forms or the perfect next word. It was trained, shown enormous numbers of examples until it found the patterns on its own. That one shift, from writing rules to learning them, is the entire story. And it is far simpler than the mystique suggests. In the next few minutes, I'm going to hand you one clean mental model of what deep learning actually is. After that, the rest of this series is just zooming in on one piece at a time. Let's strip the magic away. First, let's fix 3 words people use as if they were the same: artificial intelligence, machine learning, deep learning. They are not synonyms. They are 3 circles, nested one inside the other. Artificial intelligence is the biggest circle, the whole effort to get computers to do intellectual tasks that normally need a human. It was born as a field back in 1956, and for decades, it barely mentioned learning at all. Early chess programs in the expert systems of the 80s ran on rules that people typed in by hand. That worked great for tidy problems like chess. It fell apart on fuzzy ones, like telling a cat from a dog in a photo, because nobody can write down the rules for that. They do not exist in words. Machine learning is the middle circle, and it is the answer to that wall. Instead of a human writing the rules, the machine looks at examples and works out the rules itself. And deep learning, the innermost circle, is one especially powerful style of machine learning. Everything I say next lives in that core. Classical programming and machine learning are mirror images, and seeing the difference clearly is worth it. In classical programming, you supply the rules and the data, and the computer gives you answers. You write, if the email has these words and comes from a stranger, mark it spam. You had to know the rule in advance. Machine learning flips 2 of those boxes. You supply the data and the answers, and the machine produces the rules. You show it thousands of emails already labeled spam or not spam, and it works out the pattern itself. Then you point that learned pattern at a brand new email it has never seen. So what does the system actually learn? Here is the deepest idea in the whole field, so stay with me. It learns to represent the data differently. A representation is just a different way of looking at the same thing. A color can be described by how much red, green, and blue it has, or by its hue and brightness. Same color, 2 representations. And some tasks are trivial in one and painful in the other. Look at this scatter of dots. In their raw positions, dark and light are all tangled together, and no single straight line separates them. Now rotate the axes. Same dots, nothing moved, but in this new view, all the dark ones sit on one side and all the light ones on the other. Suddenly, one straight cut does the whole job. For a toy like this, a human can pick the right viewpoint. But could you handwrite the transformations that tell a scrawled 6 from an 8 across every handwriting on Earth? People tried. It is brittle and miserable. So we let the machine search for good representations automatically, guided by that feedback signal. That, in one line, is machine learning. Now we can say exactly what makes deep learning deep. It is not that the machine understands things more profoundly. Deep refers to a structure, successive layers of representation, stacked one on top of another. Older methods learned 1 or 2 layers, which is why they are called shallow. Deep learning learns many, sometimes hundreds. Each layer takes what the previous layer produced and reshapes it into something a little more useful for the task. Picture a network reading a handwritten digit. The first layer might notice simple edges. The next combines edges into little shapes. The next assembles shapes into parts, and the final layer reads out the answer. Information flows through the stack like water through a series of filters, coming out purer at every step with respect to the one question you care about. And here is the crucial part. Nobody designed those in-between features. They were all learned from examples. That is the technical heart of deep learning, a multi-stage way to learn representations where every single stage is learned. One quick myth to kill. This is not how the brain works. The word neural is just a historical nod. Drop the brain metaphor and you will understand this faster. We keep saying the machine adjusts itself. Here is the actual mechanism in 3 moving parts. Part 1, the weights. Each layer's behavior is controlled by a set of numbers called its weights. They are the knobs. What a layer does is entirely set by its weights, so learning just means finding good values for all of them at once. A big network can have tens of millions of these knobs. Part 2, the loss function. To turn a knob the right way, you first need to know how wrong you are. The loss function takes the network's prediction and the true answer and boils the gap down to one number. High loss, bad. Low loss, good. Part 3, the optimizer. It takes that loss number and nudges every weight a tiny amount in the direction that will lower the loss next time. The algorithm it uses is called backpropagation, the central algorithm in all of deep learning. We are giving it a whole episode of its own in part 3, so for now just hold the shape. The loss says how wrong you are. The optimizer walks the weights downhill. Put those 3 parts in a circle and you get the training loop, the beating heart of the whole field. At the start, the weights are random, so the network's output is nonsense, and the loss is sky high. You show it one example, measure the loss, and let the optimizer nudge every weight a hair in the improving direction. Then the next example. Then the next. Usually many passes over thousands of examples. Each nudge is tiny, but they add up and the loss steadily falls. A network whose loss has been driven low is one whose outputs are now close to the correct answers. And that is a trained model. That is all training is. It is a genuinely simple mechanism, and yet, scaled up far enough, its results can look like magic. Holding both of those in your head at the same time, simple mechanism and startling results, is honestly the mark of understanding deep learning at all. Machine learning existed for decades before deep learning took over. So why did this one style win so completely? 3 reasons. First, simplicity, which sounds backward but is real. Before deep learning, the hardest, most skilled part of a project was feature engineering. Humans handcrafting good representations so a shallow model could cope. Deep learning automates that away. Because it learns all the layers itself, a fragile, hand-built pipeline gets replaced by a single model trained end-to-end. The most painful step became free. Second, scalability. Deep learning runs beautifully on GPUs, the parallel chips built for video games, and it trains on data in small batches, so you can feed it datasets of essentially any size. More data and more compute, and it keeps getting better. Third, reusability. A trained model can be extended with new data instead of starting over, and a model trained on one huge task can be repurposed for many others with little retraining. That is the idea behind foundation models, and it is why one big language model can help with email, code, and cooking without being rebuilt each time. Those same foundation models, trained to predict missing pieces of their own input, are exactly what powers the chatbots and image generators you actually notice. Now let me slow you down, because a trustworthy guide has to. Deep learning is genuinely transformative, and it is also wrapped in a lot of nonsense, and telling those apart is a skill worth having from day one. The real achievements are not small. In about a decade, fluent chatbots, strong coding assistants, photorealistic image generation, human-level image and speech recognition, far better translation, self-driving cars now carrying passengers in several cities, superhuman Go and chess and poker. That is a stunning list. But the breathless predictions have a terrible track record. In early 2023, plenty of people promised mass unemployment within a year and productivity up 100-fold. Neither happened. A useful way to hold this, today's AI is best described not as artificial intelligence, but as cognitive automation. It is superb at tasks with clear rules and lots of examples. It is not a mind. Think of automation as a cartoon character and real intelligence as a living being. A cartoon, however detailed, can only act out the scenes it was drawn for. A living being can face something brand new and adapt. Today's systems, however fluent, are much closer to the cartoon. This field has crashed twice before on overpromises, so believe the long-term vision. Be skeptical of the one-year miracle. So, stripped of the marketing, here's the whole thing. Machine learning replaced handwritten rules with rules learned from examples. That learning is really a search for good representations of the data. Deep means learning many layers of them, each refining the last. And the search runs on one simple loop. Predict, measure the error with a loss, nudge millions of weights slightly downhill, over and over, until the model is right. That mechanism, plus enough data and compute, is the engine behind everything from photo search to chatbots. It is not a brain, and it is not magic. It is a mathematical framework for learning representations. And now you have the map. In part 2, we stop talking and start building. We will construct the smallest unit of a neural network, a single neuron, from scratch and train it with nothing but a weighted sum and a nudge on error. Everything abstract today becomes a few lines of code you can run and watch learn. If this helped, subscribe, and I will see you at the neuron.